Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Friday night means Monster Fridays, guys. And we're sticking to our current theme, heading back into the 70s with, I guess you would say it's a more underrated type of gem type of movie. But we're going to be talking about The Car from 1977, starring James Brolin. I mean, look, Kill,
Right.
you know what's up, man. Anytime you can have James or Josh Brolin in a movie, it's all gravy, you
Yeah,
know?
we love the Brolins.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Real quick, just to say hi to the guys in the chat, and then we'll get going on this thing. We got Patrick. Um, this sort of leans toward dark territory. Really? Wow. That's interesting, Patrick. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see what we think on this one. Castlar is in the chat too, saying the car kills you even if you're talking on the phone, right?
Yeah, it does.
Oh my gosh, man, ain't that something? Joel's in the chat saying, "What a coincidence! I'm watching this movie this weekend. To me, it still holds up. Great flick."
Nice.
All right,
Oh,
nice to
nice.
hear. Nice to hear. Dan's in the chat, Mister Dan, talking about what about Killdozer, Patrick? Oh man, you guys are too funny. All right. And Ginger Ninja's in the chat as well. Hello all. Hope you're
Hello.
doing well. Hey,
Hey.
nice to see you, Jason. David's in the chat. What's going on, David? All right. Neil's in the chat. I'm about halfway through the favorite channel moments replay, but gonna pause to catch this. Oh, what's going on, man?
Oh, cool.
That's awesome
Nice.
of you, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate that, Neil. And DMC is in the chat saying, "Hey, Night, Coriander, and Killian, I'll have to
Hello.
give this another watch. I fell asleep during it." Oh,
Hmm.
hey, I do want to say this and then we'll get going on it. Sometimes I've had that happen to myself as well, and it
Yeah.
doesn't always necessarily mean that I didn't
I
like
mean,
the
it's the
movie.
movies exactly because that happened to me, DMC. I hate to say
Yeah.
it too, but I fell asleep too in this
Well,
movie, and it's
well,
not
what I
because I
was gonna
didn't like it.
right, but yeah, well, you can explain it more. But to me, it's sometimes if you watch it at the wrong time, like if you're watching it late at night, which I've done
Yeah. Hmm.
with movies, watching them late at night, it's probably not a good idea because no matter how good it is, I might zone out or fall asleep on it. You know what I mean? So that can happen. It really,
Or if
really
you're
can.
drinking, you know, if you're
I,
drinking.
Yeah.
I
Hit the
guess that can
bong.
happen too.
It
I, I,
happens.
I guess that can happen too. And also, I want to give a shout out because we got Dan, we got Ginger Ninja in the chat also to throw this out to them. Two people that are part of our members on Patreon, and I just wanted to give them a shout out and thank you so much, along with Diana. So you guys rock. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it. And who knew, man? Who knew? Who knew? We're moving and grooving. All right, so let's start this thing up, man. Kill, tell me what you're thinking because this is the first time you've seen this movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I was
Uh,
I was telling. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you
No, no.
first.
Well, I was gonna say I was telling Coriander. I don't think I've ever seen this movie either. It sounds familiar. It could have been one of those movies I saw a long time ago as a kid, but didn't really remember it because some of it did look familiar. But it's basically a blind watch for me as well as an adult. So.
Yeah, like when you first said the car, it sounds so familiar, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Have I seen that?" And I was like, "No." And I went into this totally cold. I didn't look up a trailer. I didn't look up
Mm-hmm.
who's in the cast, and then
Right.
lo and behold, I see James Brolin. I'm like, "All right, okay, that's that."
Mm-hmm.
We love
And
we love the Brolins. Oh, you know what's so
Ronnie
funny?
Cox.
you
Go
you
ahead.
know I know his name is Ronnie Cox, but for the longest time
Mhm.
I couldn't remember his name, so I just called him. Oh, Cohagen is in here. All right, and I
Shout
forgot what
out to
his
Total
name was
Recall.
in I forgot what his name was in RoboCop, but I was like, oh, okay, it's that guy. And but yeah, like so the one thing I can say is just off the bat, these movies truly are gems. They
Yeah.
are definitely made for the time that they were in, with some of the verbiage and and
Yes.
objectifying of women and things of that nature. But knowing all that, it's still a fun ride.
Yeah.
And for me, I was just like looking at this and I was like, man, it was really cool just looking at certain actors. Like, oh, I recognize this
Yeah.
actor. Oh, there he is, and this and that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, but we'll get more into that.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was just it was cool right from the beginning. I mean, Coriander, as we
Yeah.
started off, you see the scene where you just have these two kids and they're just biking along. Everything is pretty
Oh,
normal, and holy
Yeah.
shit, man. I mean, what did you think of this scene? How the camera work
It
for the car
started
as
out
well?
great. Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, you've got this badass looking car that is hunting these people down that they have no clue is coming, and when they go into the tunnel and you're like, "Oh shit." And then like a few minutes later the car goes in, and yeah, and it was a great scene, and when it finally caught up with them and it just took them out, and yeah,
Hmm.
it was brutal. You could see the terror on these people's faces, which anybody, yeah, it would be scary. Holy shit. So
Right?
yeah, it started out really good. So,
Yeah, I mean, and you didn't know what to expect. I mean, this car,
yeah.
it's like what they said, it was a customized 1971 Lincoln Continental Mark
Reminds me of
III.
like a ZZ Top car.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just basically this is basically Jaws, okay? And let's just be
Pretty
real, okay?
much.
Land
But
shark.
hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Candygram. But seriously though, I mean, they had some really cool shots of the vehicle and how it was coming up on
Mm,
the bikers, and of course you knew it was over. I gotta admit, the way it was
yeah,
shot was pretty damn good for 1977. But of
it
course,
was.
Kill, yeah, and of course we start to meet some more of the cast, Kill, and of course you know who we had to deal with. Your boy R.G. Armstrong. Shout out to Predator and shout out to Race with the Devil that we just talked about, and
Yeah,
he's
He
yeah.
obviously
likes
doing his
playing those pieces of shit.
right,
For
Right?
sure.
right.
But he's so good at it. I
He
He
is.
is. I
mean,
He
mean, he's
really,
a wife abuser in this, so yeah. It's like, what a
yeah,
dickhead.
man. He was
yeah.
really
Yeah.
going all the way. I was like, wow,
Whew,
man.
Hmm.
yeah.
Dan says, RG, I was old for 40 years, Armstrong. Flame Flamethrowers in the chat. Is this the one with Thanos' dad and the guy from RoboCop?
Oh
Yup.
no.
Dick
RoboCop
Jones,
the
that's
Total
right.
Recall.
Yes, absolutely. The horn is iconic. Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, it's
absolutely agree.
like that's literally what I wanted to just say. Jaws will come, swim by, eat your leg, or kill you, eat you totally. This car talks shit.
Yeah,
Like
right.
by the horn. That horn was just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it before I
Yeah,
kill you, and then
and I'm gonna play it
yeah, I
after
just
to
killed
like
you.
dance. Right.
It's like
And then
whoa,
zoom, exactly, like
Yeah.
dancing its way out of it. Um,
yeah.
Patrick saying that's what they called this movie night, Jaws on Land. Well, absolutely, there's no doubt about that. I mean, if it, if someone can't put those two together in a parallel, it's like I don't know what you've been missing, but it's definitely Jaws on Land, no doubt about that.
Hmm.
Dan was saying this qualifies as another satanic '70s flick, right? Yeah, absolutely. It does. It truly does. But once we see those kids get killed, we also see that hitchhiker right in front of RG Armstrong's house. He gets ran over like 80,000 times. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, this car wanted to make sure, man. But anyways, and then we start to get more into the rest of the cast and meeting, the other people other than Brolin and Ronnie Cox. And here you have Brolin's girl, Lauren, played by Kathleen Lloyd, who I thought was, she was pretty cool. She was a teacher, and that was a really funny scene that she had talking about one of her students. Kill, what did you think about her? And obviously, we also met Ronnie Cox's girlfriend or wife. I can't remember, what she is, but she was pretty cool too. What did you think about how they started this story off?
Yeah, I mean, I loved her character.
Hmm.
Because she had so much spunk to her. She was,
Yeah,
She did.
like, and she knew how to handle Brolin,
Hmm.
like,
and
'cause
the
he was
kids.
and the kids and the principal there.
Hmm.
Every
And the car.
interaction. in the car. Oh yeah,
Even
she
though
like
it ends up
Well,
we
killing her
will
in the
we'll
end,
right.
yeah,
but
Yeah.
we'll get
Well,
to
we'll
that.
get
just
we'll
for the
get
But
to that
moment, right?
coriander.
Oops, oops.
but yeah, like every interaction she had, she was really cool with how she handled whoever she was talking to, and I really
Yeah.
liked her character. And they make her, and also the way she's played, but they make her very likable. You
Yeah, they
know,
did. Mhm.
even though, like, one thing I will say about this movie is the pacing is pretty good. They don't
Mhm.
go too deep into anybody's character, not even James Brolin's character too
Right.
much. I mean, he's a divorced dad. He has two little
Mhm.
girls. He in this little town, he says the most we've ever had is just giving out tickets, and now we have like
Right.
multiple murders in one day. It's a
Mhm.
nice little town, but the pacing, it kind of, with the fact that it's a car that's the killer, it keeps
Mhm.
rolling.
Mm.
Aha, there you go.
Ah,
Crickets,
but yeah,
crickets.
no, yeah, I know, yeah, it's a tough crowd. But no, I really liked her character and all of the characters, including
Yeah.
our boy. I'm still gonna call him Cohagen. I'm sorry, Ronnie Cox, Cohagen himself. Look at with the hair. I see
Yeah,
you,
the
sir.
hair.
Young
Yeah.
Cohagen, Ronnie
Young
Cox himself.
Cohagen. Yep, yep. Deputy Luke Johnson. That's what he was
There you
doing.
go.
But yeah, but Coriander, I mean, this story is pretty simple. Um and for you, Kill, as well, I think you would agree.
Mhm.
It's a lean, swift type of movie. It's basically this
Yes.
car is out for revenge, and that's all there is to it. But I
Yep.
enjoyed that aspect of it because it was just right in front of you. And I think that this movie, very similar to how when we were talking about Race with the Devil, it's a very
Mhm.
simplistic story, but it's the characters that you kind of gravitate towards. And even though they don't have a lot of backstory to them, like with Brolin or with Ronnie Cox, or Amos or any of these people, enough about them to kind of fill in
Yes.
the blanks. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? At least to me.
Knight, it's funny you bring that up because as I was watching this, obviously, I was thinking a little bit of Race with the Devil, where
Hmm.
you never. Actually, I'm not Race with the Devil. Duel,
Hmm.
where you never found out who was driving the truck,
Right.
who was in there.
Right.
But you know what? It didn't matter. The same thing here.
Hmm.
What's the motivations? It doesn't matter. You have a killer
Hmm.
car. Is someone driving it? Maybe, maybe not. We
Hmm.
don't know. It doesn't matter.
Right.
All you need
Right.
to know is this car is just out there roaming around this town. It comes out
Hmm.
of nowhere, kills,
Hmm.
and then vanishes. And it's
Yeah.
like,
And
whoa.
that's a good point because you don't know what's going on. And we've talked about a lot of these movies that have these same themes, and they're all awesome. And it's funny you mentioned Duel because Jason was just saying a 70s horror definitely has a different vibe to it. One of my faves is from the 70s, and I still watch it every year, The Omega Man, which is
Mm.
an awesome movie. Kill and I love that movie forever. We're huge Charlton Heston fans. And it's interesting because we did talk about Duel. That's exclusive, on our Patreon, like Jason and Dan. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We might do a different episode on it, for, everyone else. But these movies are so linked together, and that's the point I'm trying to make. And I love it. I love it. But Coriander, Kill and I were talking about how this script is really lean, the story is really lean. Was that a good thing to you or a bad thing? Because obviously we get to this point where they have this rehearsal for the school,
Mhm.
and obviously if you got everyone in the street, that's basically Thanksgiving dinner for this car.
Yeah. I thought the script was good. I didn't
Hmm.
really have too many issues with it. And yeah, I mean, and it's crazy because yeah, they're like on dirt roads. It's not like they're in the
Hmm.
middle of downtown. So you would have
Right.
thought that they would have been somewhat safe. But this
Right.
car, that thing shows up and goes anywhere. So
Yeah.
yeah, these
Yeah,
kids
it does.
were
Yeah.
these guys are doomed. But well,
Right.
they weren't, but they were. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And real quick, just to catch up into the chat with some of these guys too. Flamethrower is in the chat. That car dated Christine before Arnie. I like that. John's in
See,
the
I'm not a
chat.
real big fan of Christine. I mean, I haven't seen it since
Yeah.
I was a kid, so maybe that
Yeah.
would might change now, but
Yeah.
I was never a fan of it.
Yeah. John saying, hey, what's going on, John? My man Steven from Craving Something Scary is in the chat. Hey, Nightwatch Zone, jumping in to say hello. I have
Hey,
not seen this movie. Should I? Yes, you should.
Yeah.
I
you
definitely
should.
think you should. Especially if you're a fan of 70s horror, like we were talking about, like with Duel or Race with
Yeah.
the Devil. I think this is some really cool stuff. Miss Carter's in the chat too, saying, hey, Night, hey, Killian, hey, Coriander. And
Hey,
Hello.
how are you doing? Nice to see you, Miss Carter. Patrick saying Duel's a masterpiece. Yeah,
That
Duel
was
is
so
amazing.
good.
We
Yeah.
might talk more about that, but we did do that
We
for our
need to,
patrons.
because
You know,
that was fun to talk about, and I would definitely talk about that again.
yeah. Hey, what's going on, Katie? How you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. But let's get back to that scene where it's basically terrorizing the students and the teachers. And Kill, when
hmm
you're in trouble and a demonic car is chasing you, there's only one place that you can go for safety, and that is a cemetery, right? Tell me what you thought about this
Hollowed
scene.
ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, once again, we're learning things without the movie having to take, 10, 15, 20 minutes of oh, I'm going to go to the library and research this car. No, like,
Right.
look, I love this kind of storytelling where if you're smart and you're looking at this, you can inform your own idea of what's going on here. They go to
Hmm.
a cemetery. The car is like, oh, like a vampire at your door.
Hmm.
He's not invited.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so,
There you go.
like, all right, good. They see this. And
Hmm.
later on that becomes, kind of a talking point of, hey, we were right there and he couldn't kill us. And you could kind of see the car. The car is a prop, but there was some acting there. The car was like pouting a little bit, like,
Hmm.
oh, I
Yeah.
want to kill them. Let me
Yeah.
kill
Yeah.
them.
It,
You
it
know?
it
Kids would
even hit
have
the wall.
tantrums. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, kids have
yes.
tantrums and throw themselves around, right? This car was like turning itself in circles, doing
Hmm.
360s, and yeah, it was.
Yeah,
That's that's a good point.
yeah, and like, I mean, once again, our girl here, she was just like, okay, I gotta buy some time. We gotta call the
Right.
the the, the cops out here. So she,
Hmm.
either brave or mistake, started taunting it,
Mhm.
kind of calling it a punk and a jackass and all this stuff, and the car was like, ooh,
Yeah.
I want to run you over so bad. Ooh.
Yep.
Like,
Right.
wait till you come out of that cemetery. I'll show you. So it was just very
Yeah.
interesting,
It was. And Dan, you're right. It was crazy that it didn't have any damn door handles. When I saw that, I was like, "Where are the door handles?" And sure enough, I thought for sure James Brolin was gonna think about that too when we had that next scene where he basically confronted it. But I just want to one more thing about that cemetery scene. I gotta admit, man, I was just like, this was like a standoff, and it was a really cool
Mhm.
scene. Obviously, it was one of the best scenes for Kathleen Lloyd here as Lauren because she had a chance to really, have her individual moments as far as buying time, like you were saying, Kill. But who would have guessed what that would have cost? Because I'm telling you, man, as the film went
Yeah.
on, I was like, "Are you serious?" But I also want to point out one more thing about the car. Shout out to the stunt driver because this car was doing some really cool shit. And obviously, we know this
Yeah.
is 1977, and it's all stunt work and it's all in camera. And like you said, Coriander, I think it's a really good point. This car was throwing a tantrum at that cemetery scene. And then you had that scene where Brolin is basically standing off with him. And it's
Yeah.
like, wow, it was good tension. What
He
did
was
you?
shooting at it. Yeah. And I mean,
Yes.
those bullets were just bouncing right off, man. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
man. And you had the point of view from the car, and I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, this is cool stuff, man. Kill, what did you think about that scene? Because I totally wasn't expecting it to go the way it went. I mean, obviously you can talk about that, but what did you think about the scene when he's standing off with the car?
I mean, it was tense. It was
Hmm.
tense, and at this point in the movie, I didn't know if someone was actually driving the car or not.
Mm,
It's a lot of things. Is it a ghost car? Is it a real car? Is
right.
it a
Hmm.
remote control car? Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
Um,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
and,
Hey, man,
but
anything's possible.
Right.
hey, is it some oh man, is it some maximum overdrive stuff going on? I don't know what's
Oh.
controlling this car. Is it an
Right?
alien?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
it was interesting, and once again, storytelling.
Yeah.
These scenes give us more and more information. The
Hmm.
car chose not to run him over. The car was
Yep.
like,
Mhm.
I'll get you. I'll save you for later. It's cool, but
Yeah.
here's a little door action for you to knock you out.
Yeah.
And then the car just went on about its business. That car could have
Hmm.
ran over James 50 million
Yep.
times like the
That's
French
right.
horn player, but it didn't. It
Yeah.
was like,
Hmm.
look, I'm good for today.
It didn't.
Here's a door. Boom. And then
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
drove
absolutely.
off.
It's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. Francie's in the chat too. What's going on, Francie? Saying,
Hello.
hey, everyone.
Hey,
Mm.
John saying, thanks for having us. Hey, man. Well, thanks for joining in. We appreciate it. And by the way, if you guys are here, don't forget to like button because that would help support the channel and really support us. We'd appreciate it. Francie saying, I like this one. It reminds me of the Lance Henriksen chapter of horror anthology Nightmares. Oh, geez, I
Mm.
haven't seen that in so long. Wow, I gotta
Mm.
recheck that out. Good one, Frenzy. Frenzy, you're always knowing what you got to do, man. I like that. Miss Carter saying, I rented a Stephen King 6 movie set. I thought the car was one, but I realized I was confusing it with Big Driver and Trucks. I had no idea how many movies are car themed. My favorite one is Duel. Yeah, Duel is
Yeah.
great.
It's
It
good.
is.
Mhm.
And what's up, Gore? Gore's in the chat. Love the car. I grew up on it. Yeah,
Nice.
man. This is a good one. This is a
It
good one.
is.
Alex saying Duel is hard to top. True enough.
Yeah.
True enough. Ginger Ninja saying, did they remake this? I have a feeling they did. I don't know if they remade it, but they had a sequel that came out a couple of years ago. And yeah.
Oh.
There's not a lot that was said about it that was good, but I've never seen it.
Mm.
I imagine the tall man is driving the car, right?
right?
Yeah,
Nice.
that is so true.
Nice.
Very true.
Boy.
Right?
Boy. Yeah, man. Barnabas is in the chat. What's going on, Barnabas? Nice to see you. Saying,
Hello.
hey guys, just hopped on. The car was awesome. There you go.
Yeah.
Very cool. But this is where the movie kind of takes a little bit of a turn because Brolin is hurt. He's in the hospital. And by the way, shout out to his kids. We got to give
Right.
props to the Richards girls.
Mhm.
Both of them in so many things. We got Kyle Richards and we also got Kim
Yeah.
Richards. Kim Richards was in, and I won't give it away. If you guys know, you know, but it'll be something that we are planning to review next week. And of course, Kyle Richards was famous for playing Lindsay Wallace in Halloween, and she will be appearing in Halloween Ends, and she was in Halloween Kills. So shout out to them because man, they did a lot of work as kids, and
Yeah.
obviously grown
Little
up,
House
still
being
doing
one
some
of
stuff.
them. Yeah.
Little House, that's right. Um, but even worse than that, Kill. I want to get into the bad news is when Brolin's in the hospital and obviously Lauren is getting a ride home. Something is about to happen, and you saw the car in
Yes.
this dark corner. Well, not corner, but in the darkness, like you can't even
Like a
see it.
side road.
A
Yeah.
side road, and as it comes forward, you can see just the glimmer of the front, the fender, and the lights. Man, like it was some good camera work. What did you think about that kill as we head into, to me, what was a sad moment in the movie?
Man,
Shocking too.
yeah, exactly. Shocking. And,
Right?
I knew something bad kind of was going to happen. She
Hmm.
had,
Yeah.
I think his name was Chaz, was like
Chaz.
driving her to
Chaz
her
was cool,
house.
wasn't he? I like
Chaz was
Yeah.
my
Chaz.
boy. I
I
love
Right?
love that there were
Chaz.
natives in this movie. That was
Right,
great.
Yes.
Chaz, and I think Donna. I loved
Yeah.
Donna. She
Yeah.
was the sheriff. Opera.
Yep.
There she is. I was like,
Yeah.
Yep.
okay,
Yeah.
Donna,
That was
I see
cool,
you.
man.
Yeah. But I knew something was gonna happen. Like when
Hmm.
but I love that she acknowledged, hey, you're worried about your family? Go, go. And he's like, you
Yeah.
sure? And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh,
Right?
you know.
But it didn't
Uh,
happen the way I thought it was going to happen though. That's what I'm
I,
saying.
I didn't see that coming
Yeah.
at all.
Right? Well, she didn't
I thought,
either.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
I thought for some reason she would like go check the mailbox outside,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a cat is scratching at the door, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Whiskers," and then you hear that horn, like, oh,
Yep.
didn't see
Yeah,
that
man.
coming, and was very sad. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, man. I mean, she sees the wind gust and she realizes that that was kind of like its
A
call sign,
sign.
so to speak.
Yeah, man.
And she ran into the road to get that paper she dropped. And I was like, no, don't go into the road. Go into your house, right? Because you're safe in your
Yeah.
house, right? This
you would
movie
think.
proves that you're not safe in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Coriander,
Mm-mm.
take me through what you thought of that scene because it totally shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah, it was crazy because she gets on the phone, calls
Mm-hmm.
Wade, is like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, Chaz dropped me off to get clothes. I have a
Yep.
weird feeling, and
Mm-hmm.
next thing you know, you hear the car, right? And then you
Yeah.
see like lights and it
Yeah.
keeps coming and she's like, oh my God. And it goes
Yeah.
through the house and yeah,
Yes,
it kills
because
her.
she's sitting right in front of the window, and the
Yeah,
camera is facing her, and in back of her is the window, and you can see the car coming
coming.
towards the house. Now, I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's gonna come up to the house, toot the horn, and I don't know, whatever. It kept going, and it ran through the fucking
straight
house
through.
and
In
killed her.
and
And the way
out.
they shot it, it was so
Yeah.
quick. It was done really well as far as the
Mhm.
camera work, and it looked it looked real. It really did, man. But man, I couldn't believe that happened. Kill. I felt so bad for James Brolin. I felt bad because in the movie, Lauren was a really cool character, and she had just won the respect of his two daughters. Like, when she was basically standing up to the car at the cemetery, the two
Hmm.
daughters were really impressed by that. And eh, I mean, again, to me, that's good storytelling because, like you said, Kill, they didn't go deep into all of these different characters, but they went far enough so you could get a sense of who they were. So when she got
Yeah,
killed, I actually felt bad. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Heartbreaking
definitely.
stuff. Heartbreaking stuff. Um, and we got Bluckas in the chat too, the master of the thumb comments. What's
Hello.
going on, man? How you doing? Doomsday's in the chat as well. Say hello. What's going on? What's going on? Nice to
Hey,
see you, man. Joel saying that eerie wind blowing always scared me as a kid. Yeah, it was creepy stuff, man. They did a lot of cool things
Yeah.
to really make you feel the power of the car. That sounds kind of hokey, but it's true.
Mhm.
But anyways, so they come up with a plan. They want to trap this car. They want to bury it under rock. So of course, there's only one person that they can turn to for help. Kill, and you knew who that was going to be, and that's your boy
yep,
RG, who had explosives and all that type of stuff. So the game plan was to lure the car down to the canyons and basically just detonate all those explosives to bury it.
it's
But
always the
there's
canyons.
it's always the canyons, isn't it, man? But
It's always the canyons.
there's one thing they didn't realize though, is Brolin is going to his house, and even I had a WTF moment because
Oh,
he goes into his house and he goes into the garage to get something. Who's in the garage, Kill? Who's
man,
in that
look,
garage?
I just gotta say, when I saw that scene, I was like, is this Hereditary? Like, wait, that's it, just in the background.
Oh no.
Does anyone else just see that in the background, just chilling? Okay, so
Right?
for you guys that may not have watched this movie or may not remember, the car just gingerly must have used its arms and thumbs and hands, opened
Right?
up the garage, backed itself in, closed the garage, and just is in there chilling, just waiting, just
Yeah.
in there, just shopping on Amazon, just living his best life.
Oh man.
And Brolin just walks through the garage. He's going to like the refrigerator, grab a beer or something,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's like,
yeah. The look on his face.
and he does that move we all do. You're going
Yeah,
here, you're
kind of
looking
like
here, and then you're
that.
just
And
like,
you're like,
what and the car is
the
just
look
like,
on his face
hey,
is great.
hey. Man, you talk about a tense scene because he had
Yeah.
nowhere to go.
And that's the
No,
thing,
he
man. The
didn't.
freaking garage was locked.
Yeah.
The garage was locked. What's up with that?
Well,
Anyways,
the car
Evil can do
relocked it.
anything.
evil can do
It's
anything. It's magic,
magic.
girl. It's magic.
Right.
Shout out to Eric. Uh, real quick too, man. In the chat,
Oh,
Steven was saying,
man.
"Is the car streaming anywhere?" I watched it on Vudu. I think it's on Prime too, and I think Gore said that as well. But it is on Vudu. I know that for sure, and I'm pretty sure it's on Prime. Yeah, absolutely. Neil was saying it's not streaming for free anywhere I know of, but it's a rental on most of the major platforms. Yes. Yep, that is
It's
true.
definitely worth the rental.
I would say
It's
so
Yeah.
too.
definitely.
It was a fun
Yeah.
time, man.
It
But
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Coriander, as we get to the finale of this, I mean, he sees the car in the garage, and then he has to escape. Now, this is all happening faster than they planned because they got to give RG and the other deputies time to set the explosives so that Brolin can lure the car out there. There was some really cool scenes with the car. I want to backtrack though to a scene earlier that you might remember, Coriander, when the cops were chasing the car around on the roads. We didn't even talk about this, but there's a scene where the car is coming straight towards two cop cars, and they come over like a little. It was kind of like a little bit of a bridge or something, and the car turns sideways and
Yeah, and
rolled.
did like a flip. Yeah.
Yes. Do you
Yeah.
remember that kill? I was
Yeah. Oh
like,
yeah.
how the hell did it do that? But
Yeah. It took out those
you know,
cop cars and it and
yes,
it landed on its wheels and kept
and
going.
and kept going. Now, first of
Yeah.
all, we know this is all stunt work, and I'm sure
Hmm.
they, obviously rigged it so that the car could hop up and then roll, but it looked so good. I mean, seriously, I
Yeah.
was so impressed.
It was
But
magic.
anyways, ah ha ha.
Ah,
But as we get to the end kill, obviously it was some cool shit happening. You got a car chase where Brolin's on a motorcycle. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. It was
Getting
cool.
damn close too, man. That car
Yeah,
almost hit
ooh.
his back
yes.
tire. Yeah.
Yes. And Brolin actually he gets stuck as the deputies are getting all the explosives ready, like in this image right here. Brolin actually got stuck in the bottom of the canyon. They had to throw the rope down so he could climb up. And once he climbed up, they're still all behind the eight ball time-wise because the car had really gotten into action a lot faster than what they thought. So at the end, you got Brolin and Ronnie Cox right on the edge of the cliff. Kill, tell me what you thought about that scene because they basically were playing chicken with a damn demon car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look, I'm watching this, and once again, all of these scenes had a lot of intensity to them.
Yeah, they
You
did.
you just didn't know which way it was going to go. Now, of course,
Hmm.
I'm sitting here and I'm hoping, okay, here's the hero, and I guess his second. Okay,
Hmm.
hopefully they'll survive. But I didn't know
Hmm.
because the one thing we haven't really talked about too much, the car has a huge body count in this movie.
It does.
If you think about it, I mean, it took the two bicyclists out, the French
It
horn
took
player,
yep.
Brolin's girlfriend.
The
It took
sheriff.
out.
Brolin's
It
boss,
took
the
Yeah, it
sheriff.
took the
Yeah.
sheriff. It took out
Yep.
also about another like four cops,
4 or 5
especially that one
deputies.
who the who was on the edge and was trying to
Yep.
open his door, and the car was like,
Pushing him
no,
off.
no.
Yep.
I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
so this car took out at least like 10 people
Yeah, it
and
did.
was just hungry for more. So I didn't know what was going to
Yeah.
happen at this final scene, or
Hmm.
if somebody would magically get out of the car or whatever,
Hmm.
but it was definitely tense.
Yeah, I agree. It was very
Yeah.
intense. So, the thing of it is they're playing chicken with the car because they basically had to come up with a new game plan. So they're on the edge of the cliff, and basically they move out of the way just as the car is about to hit them, and it goes right
Yeah.
off of the cliff, right into the canyon. And it was so cool because Brolin was like, hit it, and they
Hit
they
it.
detonate. I always love that shit, right? And they detonate it. And Coriander, what do you see? It's like, what?
It's like a demon fireball. I don't know. You
Yes.
could like see the demon. You could hear
Yes.
it
You could
almost
hear
like,
it.
like
Hmm.
no, and
Hmm.
yeah, it was like crazy.
Right? It's true, man. It was like, okay, well, there's our answer. This
Yeah.
is a demonic car.
And Wade's looking at it like, what the fuck? And everyone
Right,
else is
right.
like, what? And
and,
yeah, it was crazy.
and I love how Rory Cocker was the only one who's like, "Are we going to talk about that?" Nope, we saw nothing.
Yes.
Right?
Wade was like, "I saw nothing. It's over." But wait, I said it's over. We're not going to
Right?
acknowledge this
Living in
Yeah.
denial.
because no one will
Yeah.
believe us.
Right?
Right.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then what's even crazier after all of that happens, and he's like, "Hey, we're not going to talk about it, and it's over, and this and that." At the end of the movie, the film concludes with the car prowling the streets of downtown Los Angeles.
You
So
can't kill evil.
apparently it survived. Kill,
Yeah.
did you get that? At first I didn't get that because at the end of the movie I was just kind of like so stunned by what I had seen. I wasn't even picking up
Yeah.
on that. Did I was like, so it lived? What
Evil
what's
finds a
going
way.
Yeah.
right? Oh my
Yeah.
god. It's crazy stuff. Barnabas was saying there is just something special about these 70s movies. I can't get enough
Yeah.
of them. True enough,
That's so
man.
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
It is true. It's very true, man. And obviously a lot of you guys in the chat agree with that. And that's exactly why, and we hope, and I actually this is a good time to say this. We won't tell you what we got planned for next Friday yet, although I think Dan and Ginger Ninja, you guys know obviously because you guys get our schedule ahead of time. But we're really happy and excited to be talking about some of these lesser known movies from the 70s. We might hit the early 80s too, but these 70s movies, these satanic flicks and stuff like that, road flicks. We're really happy to do it. So we hope that you guys are enjoying it. Please let us know in the comment section if this is a good choice or not, because obviously if nobody wants to see it, then we shouldn't do it. But we do know there's some fans of this stuff out there, and obviously you guys in the chat are talking about being fans of it. So we hope that that's the case. But let us know in the comment section, because there was a point where we were kind of figuring out, should we do this or not? Because these are less. Nobody's going to be searching for a review on the car. That's just not going to happen. It's just not. So this is
They're
literally
lost,
for.
damn it.
Well, no, it is. But what I'm saying is these are just movies that have been kind of lost to time in a way. My
Mhm.
hope is that we can shed at least some light back on some of these movies because they are good movies. And it's from a bygone era. So for you guys here, and I see all you guys in the chat, so I'm hoping every one of you guys leaves a comment letting us know what you think about these movies and should we continue to do them, because we've actually got a list. We've got about how many, Coriander? Maybe about 10 movies on the list that we're
Uh,
thinking about,
I
something
don't
like
think
that.
it's 10, but it's around there. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the point being, it's a bunch.
We
So
got a list.
we
Yes.
we definitely want to do some of these. So hopefully, you guys as well as our other viewers will enjoy it as well. Just a car spawned in from hell, hell bent to kill and kill again.
Yes.
Nice. Dan says we were all talking about the demon face in school the next day after it was on TV. That is cool. That
Right.
is cool. Absolutely, man. I like that. Frenzy saying, yes, please do the devil's rain. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see.
Well,
But it's good
well,
to hear.
Knight,
Go
let me
ahead.
just piggyback on that, and thanks for that suggestion. But guys, if there are any more gems from the 70s you would like to hear us talk about, or just suggestions, leave them in the comments, because like I was saying earlier, this was a pleasure to watch, and I had
Mhm.
never seen this. So if you know
Yeah.
other ones, please, please, please leave us comments for them. And
Yeah.
these movies from
Or
the 70s are just awesome.
Yeah, and what I wanted to say too is that we do get suggestions all the time from people, like more suggestions than we could ever fulfill. And we have movies that we want to do as well. We got movies that'll last us for months and months and months and months. But and Dan knows this, being on our Patreon page. Dan has a suggestion, because obviously that's one of the perks that he gets, and we're going to be working on that in the next couple weeks or whatever. But if it's something that you really, really want us to do, that's one way to make sure that it definitely will get done. Because obviously we can't take everyone's suggestion. I wish we could, but it just doesn't work that way. So, anyways, that's another thing to mention too. Um, Also, we got Adam. Adam's in the chat too, saying, "I'm late here, but caught what you said." All right. Definitely do lesser known films because it sheds light on them and educates the masses. It gets tiring hearing about the same franchises over and over. That
Yes, it
that is
does.
true. It's true. And I mean, I think what we try to do on this channel, and obviously you guys that follow us, you know this. I mean, Coriander, especially on Slasher Movie Club, we're talking about movies that people just don't talk about anymore, some that people have
Mhm.
never heard of, but we enjoy doing that and it's a passion, but we want to also make sure that what we do is something that people actually want to see. So if you guys enjoy it, please support those videos, and please, if you get a chance, pass it on to others, share it on your social media. A lot of you guys, we know on social media, and some of you guys have done that anyways, but keep doing it because that's basically proof in the pudding that people want to see us talk about those movies. So just to throw that out there to you guys, because I do love talking about lesser known movies. It's so much fun.
Mhm.
Barnabas saying, I love that you guys are picking movies like this. So cool to see movies like this getting some love. Keep it going. All right. All right.
Mhm.
Gore saying, I got some gems for you to check out for sure. Yeah.
I,
And the Hitcher. The Hitcher,
the
that's something
Hitch
that's on
is
our list as
so
well.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
liked both.
Bluck.
I liked the original and I enjoyed the remake of The Hitcher also.
Yeah. Bluck is saying, do you guys watch subtitled English dub, or is that
Yeah.
not something you want as requests? It
We do it
depends. I
all.
mean, we've
Yeah.
done a lot of stuff. We've done foreign stuff too. So
Hmm.
it just depends. But
Mhm.
anyways, guys, this movie was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And like Barnabas was saying, like button smashed. You guys rock as usual. See you next time. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And for us, you
thanks.
guys, please give the video a like. This is definitely the type of video that needs the likes for it. And also leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about this movie, what you think about us diving into these gems. Again, we do have something really cool lined up for next week, and you guys will find out about it pretty soon. So we hope to see you guys next Friday. So, anyways, we'll catch you guys later. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace out.
Peace.
Ouch.